Welcome to ThisLife, a podcast by Mayorca Media.
Oh,
that's it.
This is stuff you got to keep in, you know?
I know.
You can't delete this stuff.
I'm going to keep this.
Oh, I forgot you're recording too.
I'm recording, yeah. So, we are here in the Local Hub Studios. They are a co-working space in Escondido, California. The premier North County co-working space. If you're a student, if you are a small business, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you're a self-starter like myself, I don't really like to use entrepreneur just because I don't really like that word. But I'm a self-starter. I have my own business. I am a photographer and videographer. And I have an office here. It's amazing. The difference between working here and working at home is it's a miles difference, because you get to interact with other people that you don't normally see, like your dogs and stuff. And you just overall kind of feel more productive. So if you go to localhubsd.com, sign up for a day pass in August. They are doing, I'm sure this is going to come out in August. But if you sign up, you can get half off a month subscription, which is a pretty amazing offer. So today I'm sitting down with my friend Julio. So this is actually kind of weird because we were kind of having a conversation. I've been talking about doing a podcast for a couple of years now.
A while.
A while. And I never really pulled the trigger. And I finally posted. I actually posted about it today. Today's July 29th. I don't know when this is going to come out, but I finally posted about it today, and I said, "Oh, sweet, have your freaking phone on."
Me. Yeah, it's my bad.
So I finally said today, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm going to do it. I am starting a podcast. So Julio and I were sitting and we were talking, and we went to Burger Bench on Grand Avenue. Shout out to Burger Bench.
This right here.
They give you mason jars to go. Like, who else is doing that? No one else is doing that. I don't think. No one's ever done that. And anyway, we went down to Burger Bench and we were just kind of talking. We're shooting the shit and talking about business, talking about mental health. And I said, you know what? Why don't we go back to the Local Hub? Free month off, half off. Why don't we go back to the Local Hub Studios and record? Because we were dropping some knowledge. Hopefully it comes out right now. The dynamic's definitely different. Yeah. And I think if I talk about it more, it kind of will. Let's move this because it's an eyesore.
Let me get this too. I'm going to keep my phone on here.
Yeah, keep your phone on there. The dynamic's kind of different just because it feels like people are watching, and people are going to watch, I hope. But yeah, dude, introduce yourself. Talk about how we kind of met each other and anything else you want to say.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is kind of a first time for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I mean, I've known Felix for about 4 or 5 years now.
Close to 5 years.
He interviewed me for a spot at the day camp in Poway. Shout out to Poway.
Yep.
But he interviewed me. He was like, you know what? We're not going to hire him as a Rec 2, but he seems like a pretty good candidate for a Rec 1, you know? So then from that point on, he was my boss. And then anything he needed me to do, I did for the majority of it. But yeah, for the most part, that's where I met him, and that's pretty much where we kind of kicked it off. I understood that he enjoyed history as far as that goes. So then that whole bro.
That's right.
That's
we're both,
my guy.
Yeah, we're both history majors.
You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, that's from that point on, it's just been a bromance. You know what I mean? That's what I pretty much call it. Yeah, from that point on, it's just been hey, bro, what you been up to? How you doing? This and that. How's the business? You need help with anything like that? Vice versa, you know what I mean? Anytime I kind of need help, he's always there. And then, yeah, I don't really know what else to say because this is very intimidating.
So I think the thing about like our dynamic as friends, and this kind of goes off of the theme of the podcast is that we're the type of friends that we can not talk for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Maybe like,
I agree.
I think like 2 months, and then we can just pick up where we left off.
And it's weird because don't get me wrong, like we met each other when we were like in our 20s, you know what I mean? Like, so at that point we both went through life as far as high school goes and college goes, not in the same circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the ability to actually connect the way we did and still be cool with each other, as far as like, yo, I've probably known this guy for my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Which is not true, but to me, that's what it feels like. And I don't know, obviously don't know how it is for you, but for me, that's how it goes. You know what I mean?
I think the thing is, we're both from, I mean, if anyone knows San Diego County, it's small, but it's big. So you have all these different counties. I'm from North County, and Julio's from, what do you call that? I mean, you're from the hub. You're from San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
You grew up in Kearney, right?
I grew up all over the place.
Yeah.
But we'll just say San Diego.
Exactly. Well, we were born in the same hospital.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Escondido, baby.
I mean, I was born here, but
never really grew up here. No. But yeah, I mean, we pretty much grew up kind of the same-ish backgrounds, and
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we met, and the dynamic was just kind of there. And like I was saying before, this is a friendship where you can just kind of pick it up where you left off. And as far as like mental health goes, you kind of need that type of friend where
I don't take anything serious. I'm be real honest here. I mean, obviously I do when it comes to a certain extent, but if you're gonna need any type of joke or any non-serious thing,
exactly, that's who I go to.
No, not really, but no, I get what he's saying.
Yeah. So as far as, there's always different types of categories of friends, and I think we're those friends who, you know, we'll do our own thing and then we'll pick it up where we left off. Like I said before, I feel like we've been talking about this for like 20 minutes, but this is so hard, dude.
This is weird.
So not to talk in circles, but yeah, that's me and Julio's history. We've been friends for about 5 years, and kind of, I mean, I think your 20s are that time where you it kind of feels like a second part of your teens, because you're experiencing so much. Especially with our generation, who we were told, you know, go to college, get good grades, and then you start your life off, and that's, you know, that's the beginning of the rest of your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we didn't really do that. We went to college. I mean, I graduated. I got my bachelor's.
I'm still in college.
You're working on it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You'll be back sometime.
Anyways.
I graduated with a bachelor's degree. I had no idea what I was doing. And now I find myself, you know, I'm a videographer, content creator, photographer. I'm in this weird space. And Julio, what are you doing now? You know, what kind of, I think the first question I want to ask you is, how did you end up doing, what do you do, and how did you end up doing this?
Well, obviously, I mean, if you do know me, it's more of I love to help people. That's kind of what my niche is. Like, I love to help people, regardless of what it may be. And obviously, I started working with kids from 18 to about 24. And then when I turned 24, that's when I got not necessarily a big boy job, but it was paying me a lot more than what I was doing working with kids. Then, bam, COVID happened. You know what I mean? That's where you kind of hit that fight and flight mode, as far as, all right, well, I just recently got laid off, so what are you going to do for a job? Obviously, it being COVID, you have that unemployment that's going to help you out for a long run, which I'm thankful for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as what I'm doing now, I have And that's what I'm saying when it comes back to this whole COVID thing. That's what I'm thankful for, because this allowed me to understand, like, I've been wanting to own vending machines. And that's what I've been. Oh, shit. Damn.
Different, huh?
Yeah. He was watching me the whole time and not helping me. I'm over here like,
I think closer to the mic, because I wasn't paying attention to the levels. I think my levels are a little high.
Yeah. I mean, dude, this sounds way better. I'm over here sounding like...
You're like distant and stuff, and then because we're so close to each other, I don't know what.
It sounds so timid. Dude, this sounds 10 times more better. Holy shit!
We're learning here.
Yeah. So I mean, if this doesn't make the first cut, I won't be upset. You know what I mean? Like, if you want,
I'm so nervous.
If you want to use this as a rough draft as far as what not to do, you know what I mean? I'm all for it.
Get closer to the mic, dude.
Don't.
Okay, keep going. So you wanted to own your own vending machine.
I've been telling my fiance that, hey, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I've been watching, obviously, you know when you're like middle of the night and that can't sleep, you're watching YouTube videos. You go from watching cats to watching video games to a music video to like vending machines.
Yeah,
that's where I ended up. You know what I mean? I saw a vending machine. I was like, oh shit, man, I can do that. My bad. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you're fine.
So then, I was like, oh, vending machines, that's not that hard. You know what I mean? Like, what did it take to run one vending machine? So I told my fiance at the time, I was like, well, now, I was like, hey, that's what I want to do. So since this whole COVID thing happened, I'm literally doing nothing all day because I just got laid off. I was like, all right, well, maybe then I can get into vending machines. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's when I had the opportunity. I don't remember her name. She's the kindest person. My homies were there with me, but
who is she?
She was a business owner who had to downsize because of COVID.
Okay.
Which allowed me to get the vending machine at a better price, which I honestly do feel bad for, because obviously she's in a situation to where COVID's kind of messing up her income.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, and for the sake of like, oh, unemployment is the one that got him the vending machines. No, this is like me saving money from my previous jobs, because I just had recently got laid off. Right. So I was like, I took the chance of buying the vending machines, and then, damn. But that's what pretty much what happened. Like I bought my first vending machine from this lady. She was sweet. I forgot where it was from. Bought it. My friend who works at Belmont, we were able to put it into that spot, and then from that point on, it's just pretty much grew from there. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna have to run this one back, because either I'm.
You're nervous, dog. Chill. So,
because I'm blah 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 blah.
That's. I think that's one of those moments. It kind of goes hand in hand with like one man's trash is another man's treasure. So, and it's not even that. I can't find the words for it, but it's one of those things where for the lady, it was kind of like a curse, where it's like, oh, I got to get rid of this thing. It's kind of like one thing dies and another flourishes. Yeah. So it's kind of like it's a free market. And I know a lot of people, like, I don't want to get political here, but a lot of people right now are kind of against the free market. But this is, I think, an example of one of the beauties of the free market, where someone has to downsize and then they kind of pass the baton to another person. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm morally iffy about, because I understand why she's selling it for so cheap. You know what I mean? It's not like something I want to take advantage of, but right. the opportunity was there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn, that sounds way better.
Yeah, dude. Get a little bit closer to the mic.
I can hear the echo when I back out. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the opportunity was there. So it's one of those things, like, why not take it? You know what I mean? I've been manifesting this whole idea of wanting the vending machines. And you know what I mean? It's just vending machines. But at the end of the day, you understand, like, 1 turns into 2, right? Turns into 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying? So you get 1, that 1 pays for 3 more, like it did in my situation. And that's the same way I got those other 3 vending machines. Right. Was the same way I got the first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and it's not that it's like dumb luck, but it just happens. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like the opportunity presents itself. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I won't take it.
Right.
But for me, it's more of a, all right, well, are you gonna sit here and pay this much for this many vending machines, or are you gonna take what's given to you now and then go with it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I said, she passed the baton on to you, and you obviously sprinted with it. But something I want to ask you, going back to you getting laid off, like I know people are sick of hearing about COVID and all this other crap, because then it turns into like a political thing and all that. But going back to the COVID thing, Bernie. Going back to the COVID thing, if you didn't hear that, he just said Bernie, referencing Bernie Sanders, socialist. And I just playing. Going back to the COVID thing, I lost my whole business overnight.
Yeah.
And I completely just spiraled. Like I had a complete breakdown. I took it out on like people around me. I took it out on, I literally just had a breakdown. I spiraled. Like my mental health just like it completely went haywire. It went out the door. And I started like drinking, and like obviously you have nothing else to do. How did you take getting laid off? Like for me, I would take that, and I take everything so personally that I would be like, dude, did I not do enough for you? Like, did I not put in the work where I can justify my job? Like, how did you take getting laid off?
That's a good, it's one of those things where like, for me, it's, I'm very laid back. That's how I perceived myself before this whole COVID thing. Anything happens, cool. I'm chill. You know what I mean? I got this. At the end of the day, I still have a roof over my head. I'm good, But as soon as this COVID thing happened, I actually, the reality of it, like hit me all. It hit me like, you know what? You have no job. There's no income coming. Obviously, there's unemployment. But at the end of the day, I still feel some type of way of receiving the unemployment. You know what I mean? Just because you're getting it doesn't mean it's what you want to get. You know what I mean? It's, at the end of the day, it's what your last opportunity. Obviously, you go for jobs and whatnot, but
you have to do it.
You know what I mean? For me, it's more of that's when like I thought I had COVID, because as soon as I got laid off, then I had like a fever. My heart started pumping 10 times faster than what I was used to. And I was telling my fiance, Selena, I was letting her know, I was like, hey, like I think I have it. I should go get tested. And she was like, and she's very encouraged. She's like, yeah, go do that. And I didn't see my girlfriend for like, fiance, I didn't see her for like 3-4 weeks, because I didn't want to pass it to her if I did have it.
Right.
So on top of not seeing my own fiance or my girlfriend and not working and still having to pay for my bills, obviously, yes, COVID. I mean, I still had to do the process of unemployment. Cool. But for me, it was all new. It hit quick. So for me, it's more of oh, damn. Now reality's starting to hit. And I started getting panic attacks. Wouldn't sleep till like 4 or 5 in the morning. In my head, I'm like, why am I feeling this way if it's never happened to me before? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of a like, you have no reason to feel this way because you still have X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? X being the roof, Y still being food to feed yourself, and Z being unemployment, still getting money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you sit here and you're like sitting in at 3-4 in the morning wondering, why am I having these attacks if I'm living a good life at the end of the day? You know what I mean? So then I started thinking about it like, well,
100%.
My process of, I have to do, and don't get me wrong, like I'm in the process of planning a wedding. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's what's causing me stress, but I understand that I have to, that on top of losing my job, and then the other certain events, you know what I mean? So all that together, never really thought about slowing down and actually thinking about it. It's more of a, bam, what are you going to do next?
Right. So I think, and this kind of
That was a lot.
Mental health.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Dude, that's why I wanted to do this, is because sometimes life is a shitstorm. Like I talked about COVID and I was struggling before that as well. February was my last big gig. Shout out to Michaela Buckley. She hired me to do some photos. That was my last big gig. February was. And then I was freaking out about, what do I do next?
Yeah.
What do I do next? And as we know, February, March, COVID hit. So I was already in a bad place. Mentally, personally, I was already in a bad place. And then COVID hit, and it was like, in my own mind, because I have my blinders up, because I'm it happens, dude, because I have my blinders up, I'm moving forward, I'm trying to get my business done, and I'm trying to get my business successful. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, I gave myself a year, and I didn't get my business license for a year because, and this was like kind of like a fault of mine, I gave myself a year to be successful, which you shouldn't really do because a year is not very long. It's coming up on a year actually in 2 days, literally 2 days.
Oh, wow.
2 days. Yeah.
Congrats.
July 31st, I quit my job. Does July have 31 days?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So July 31st, I quit my job. I said, I'm done with public service.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I'm done with city jobs. I'm going to just do my business. And I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that happened, but I gave myself a year. I didn't prepare for COVID. No one did.
I don't think anybody did.
And I completely spiraled. Like it was like, just like you kind of already had these things that you were worried about.
Yeah.
And then boom, like the eye of the storm kind of feels okay. And then the storm starts again. Yeah. And it gets even worse. And it gets even, dude, it's frustrating because there's literally nothing you can do about it, but we get caught up in our own emotions, our own lives. And because we all have our blinders on, we have that, like, these are my goals. This is what I want to do. And this is what I'm going to do. Yeah.
And it's also crazy because when we sit here and really think about what we're really tripping off of, it's not, that's what makes me also feel like, why am I even like worried about it? Because there's 10 times millions of other people who are dealing with a lot worse than things that I'm dealing with. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where it comes back to, like, why am I tripping off of getting unemployment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's literally people who are literally homeless, not having anything.
Right.
And that's where the justification as far as, well, no, you have feelings and it's okay to feel a certain type of way. And then, so that's what's always, and that's what I never understood, because for me, I can tell you, I never, you can attest to this when we used to work together. Stress, that's
it goes right over your head.
That has nothing to do with me. But as soon as this happened, and I was good, I was working from home. I had a steady income, easy. I was doing this, doing that. And then, but the thing is, I'm not going to lie, I already knew they were going to lay me off. I knew that. I just didn't expect it to happen because of how much they enjoyed or liked my company at work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when that happened, then you have to, like, oh, wow, okay, life is actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not going to stop just, because you lost your job. Cool. Keep it pushing. But in my head, that's when oh, man, shit, I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the crazy part. It always comes down to other people have it worse than you do. So why are you feeling this way?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Going off of what you just said,
a lot.
I think this is one of the biggest problems we have, is especially because right now we're living in a world where everything is so accessible, and you can, look up, AIDS in Africa on Google and get an answer like that.
Yeah.
You can look up how many homeless people are there in the United States. Boom. the number pops up, and we don't validate our feelings. And I did this a lot too, because when you talk about how like you're like, well, why do I feel this way if blank? A lot of people have that feeling. When I was depressed because I couldn't find a job, but I had a college degree. I didn't have debts. I still lived with my parents, but I still lived in a house. Anything that I wanted to do, if I told my parents, hey, I want to do this, they would be like, do it. I had a supportive, like, I'm so privileged.
That's amazing. I mean, I met your parents, and
dude, they're so dope.
I feel like I'm being supported by them, and they don't even know me like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because they're so sweet. My dad is just like the typical dad. My mom, when I wanted to play drums in middle school, we went to the thrift store.
Shout out to Father Felix. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. My mom took me to the thrift store, bought me my first drum set. Then we went to an estate sale that she had like email notifications, and she got an email from one that was selling a drum set. She bought me my first drum set, and then I played in the talent show. And like, I look at these things and I'm just like, what an ungrateful piece of shit you are, because you feel depressed, because you have these feelings of like that you're not good enough or you're not doing enough. But then you have to personally kind of talk to yourself and be like, you're putting this pressure on yourself. And see, these don't have a pop filter. My other ones do. Anyway,
I don't know what that is.
Okay. You put this pressure on yourself because there are so many supportive people around you. Uh-huh. But then it kind of sucks because you turn this positive thing into a negative, where you're like, well, I have my mom. In my case, I have my dad. I have, supportive friends. I have so much in my life where I shouldn't be able to feel this way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just chemical imbalances. Sometimes it's just a shitstorm, like in your life. 3 things happen at once when you don't want them to happen, but it still happens. And that's life. And I just spit. And we weren't told, you saw that? And we weren't told, hey, shit is going to happen in your life. We were told, go to elementary school, go to middle school, go to high school, get good grades through all, go to college, buy a house, get a family, boom, you're done. We were never taught about the challenges. We were never taught about, sometimes you'll owe more in taxes. We were never taught about, sometimes life doesn't turn out the way you want it to, because like myself, I had a plan and that plan completely failed. So then what's next? And I think we don't have that conversation with ourselves in terms of like, what's next, or what if this fails, and I don't like to think like that.
Yeah.
But there's always it's always good to kind of ask yourself those questions. Mm-hmm. What if, how do I bounce back? Not what if this fails, but how do I bounce back?
Yeah.
How do I get better? I don't have clients. How do I get more clients? I don't, my vending machines aren't selling. How do I adapt to those different situations?
Yeah. And that's a good point. I mean, for me, it's never been about, because for me, it's always been finish high school. You know what I mean? I grew up single mom. That's where it stops. You know what I mean?
Right.
Graduate high school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Make her proud.
Yeah. And that's what allowed me to graduate high school. Was I didn't do it for myself. And that's where the motivation was at. I didn't do it for me. All of high school was for my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where that's at. And as soon as that stops, when you get into college, first generation, don't really know what motivating yourself looks like. You know what I mean?
Because you're motivating, being motivated by other people.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So going into college, I was always motivated by, my teacher paid for my college courses. So I have to finish college for her.
Wait, your teacher paid for your college?
She paid for my summer ones, my summer classes. Yeah. Coming out of high school. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's even more pressure of like, and that's beautiful.
And that's what drove me to want to be a teacher. And
Right.
to this day, no matter how many I can own 100 million vending machines, I still want to be a teacher.
Right.
Because I understand the impact that she had on me. That's what I want to have on others.
And that's
as
a
far as
connection.
kids goes. Yeah.
That's the connection me and you had. Was,
you know what I mean?
We wanted to be teachers.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to college, that motivation was to finish it for others. So when
Excuse me. Oh my God, dude.
so when I had that when I started it, I was doing it for other people, not myself.
Right.
And then at that point, I'm like, you know what? This feels like high school.
Right.
I'm not doing it for myself. So why do I want to keep doing it? And I can't sit here and say, oh, I went to State, San Marcos, UCS. No, I went to Mesa College. You know what I mean? Shout out.
Cougar Pride
I don't know.
for me because it's San Marcos.
You like older women. But
That's not a lie.
do you know you know what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I stopped going to college because I found a job that was paying me well enough to support myself in what I needed to do.
Right.
So I stopped going. But then I realized like I don't get me wrong, every job I had, I loved doing. Every morning I woke up, I loved going to it. You know what I mean? Because I was helping the community. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. Regardless if it's with kids or the surrounding area I'm at, I'm helping. At the end of the day, that's what I want to do. So when I realized, you know what, like this is not what you want to do, go after it. That's obviously I started going back to college and I trying to finish it because it's something I want to do. And that's where people don't kind of get as far as, you know, this is what I want and I'm going to do it because it fulfills my happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So kind of piggybacking off of that.
It's kind of hard to stay on topic.
Yeah. And then it kind of feels like when you're talking, you kind of go in circles.
That's
right.
what
But it made sense what you said. So
maybe because we're drunk.
I'm not drunk.
No.
Mom, I don't drink alcohol.
Oh, your mom's watching this.
Probably. My tongue though feels a little swollen.
No, my tongue feels dry.
Hey man, liquid courage.
Cheers.
So, cheers right here.
Damn, I have to really chug this now.
Shout out to Burger Bench, man. How much was it? Like $14 for a mason jar of 32 ounces? Yeah, amazing. My question for you.
Oh, different question. Okay.
What was my question? You threw me off.
I don't know. You have notes?
No. Okay, I got it. No, I got it. So my question, you have notes? My question for you is, have you found fulfillment? Because, and again, we worked for cities. We worked for school districts.
Nonprofits.
Nonprofits. We both have a background of like helping either communities or cities or kids.
Other people.
Do you have that fulfillment with... This is a disaster.
This is crazy.
Do you have that? Because let me put it in. Did you hear that? Let me put it in my terms. When I can help, I'm gonna get sappy real quick. But when for example, I've been making content for Local Hub. Shout out to Local Hub Studios. I've been making content for them. They have an amazing space. This is something that I truly believe in. And I've been making content for them. And the owners have been so sweet. They've watched the content that I've made for them, mm-hmm. and their face lights up because I think it solidifies what they've been working on in a visual form. So I'll make a video and I'll show it to them and they'll be like, wow. And for different businesses, not just Local Hub, but when I can transcend someone's, I think that's the right word, someone's idea, hard work, even debt into a video, that brings fulfillment to my life. Yeah. So transferring it over to you.
I already know the question.
When it comes to like to vending machines, do you feel like you have that fulfillment, or is it for right now just like something that you're just doing for a quick buck, or what are you getting from it?
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I know.
I'm
just kidding.
Yeah, no, man, that's a really good question. It's not necessarily a fulfillment, but it's a I forgot that word, but that ability to allow me to do other things freely without having that constriction.
Freedom.
Yeah, without having that constriction of not having enough money to pay my bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can go to school without having to worry about how am I going to pay for the classes. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like a safety net.
Exactly. You know, so I guess technically the fulfillment's there because it allows me to do other things as far as like coaching.
Burp. Dude, beer makes you gassy. Hey, shout out to Burger Bench, 32 ounce mason jars at Burger Bench.
But but no, seriously, vending machines, I mean, it technically doesn't fulfill what I want to do in life.
Close to the mic. Yeah.
Technically it doesn't. No, technically it doesn't fulfill what I want to do in life, but it allows me to progress what I want to do in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I at the end of the day, I want to teach. I want to be able to help kids find themselves and become better adults in society, because God knows we're fucked up at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I can shape somebody to be like, you know what, I hate my life. I don't like coming to school every day. I don't want to do this. To where like, you know what? Today was good. Tomorrow was better. The next day, amazing. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I can do that, then they're going to grow up to be like, you know what? Maybe that, even if what I explain to these kids don't necessarily stick in their head, but if they can be like, you know what? I remember that one thing he told me and I can pass it on to somebody else. That is what fulfills me. So the vending machines is going to allow me to do all that.
Right. So then me and you were talking before the podcast, we were talking about anxiety attacks and kind of that worry that you have about, you're about to get married, you're trying to provide for that, you know, that wedding for your future wife. Something that I want you to think about, and this is something that I've been working on, is thinking about, hey, if this doesn't work out, it'll be an experience. Yeah. I think in life you have to think about, and this is what I didn't want to be one of those teachers, because I've been working with kids I worked with kids for about 5 years. And again, same with you. Again, I still want to teach in some sort of fashion, I still want to be, and this is why like Local Hub is so cool to me. Shout out Local Hub, sponsor this this podcast. This is why I think Local Hub is so dope, because Escondido is not really one of those places where, it's not like Carlsbad, it's not like Encinitas, it's not one of those places where you're like, you have hot spots and all this stuff. San Diego. Exactly, San Diego. You don't have all these hot spots. This can be a cool place for people to kind of branch out. And I still want to teach, like I said, in some sort of fashion, but going into a teaching job with outside experience, or like, I don't know anyone that has vending machines that can give those kids that perspective on life, not just, oh, I went to school, I got my teaching credential, and now I'm a teacher. It brings so much more. It kind of brings everything full circle.
Yeah. And I've always told my fiance this, like, I hate the fact that we have to go to school. I mean, obviously, yes, there's a reason why we have to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But I feel the experience, obviously I'm only 25, but what I know now, I feel I can be a better of a teacher than the teachers that are there now. Exactly. You know what I mean? Without my credential.
Exactly.
So what gets me upset is like, man, like I really have to go spend this much money to get a degree when half the teachers don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like I can do, I don't like to brag about myself, but
right.
But I feel like if I was given the opportunity, you know what? Teach this class. I guarantee you they will get more out of like as far as like what it takes to live in the real world on top of teaching history.
Right.
They'll get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Because you and I both know those teachers that you can tell they're burned out by year 2.
Oh, yeah.
Year 1.
Definitely.
Even year 1.
Yeah.
But usually it's like year 2 or 3. They had a rough experience as new teachers because obviously kids want to take advantage because they're like, oh, this is a new teacher. So then if there's burping up a storm, dude.
Jeez, this is horrible. This is if like I said, if this does not make the cut, I would not be upset.
Anyway, we know those teachers that have been burned out by year 1 because that's all they've been kind of fed is that formula of middle school, high school, college, teaching credential, boom, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
You've made it. But then in reality, I knew a teacher that was like 70 something. And then she was my 6th and 7th grade teacher, Miss Simonson. Shout out to Miss Simonson. Big shout out. She Hidden Valley Middle School. She quit her job and became a doctor.
Damn.
And she was like 70 something. And I heard about this from my friend Griselda. Shout out Griselda. And my friend Griselda was working at Burger King. And she was like, right. Hey, I just saw Miss Simonson at the drive-thru and she's a doctor now. And I was like, dude, and I always think about that because I'm like, it's never too late. Like, it's never too late to like change your mind. It's never too late to kind of change your direction, not even in career-wise, but like in your life where you want to be a teacher, but then you decide, hey, I got laid off.
Stop. Yeah.
Let me go to a different route, which vending machines. Like literally, I've never heard of anyone owning vending machines. I mean, one person, but that's a different story.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah, I obviously I knew. For me, it's all about having generational wealth. You know what I mean? I'm not saying vending machines is gonna be the key to
success.
You know what I'm saying? No,
billions of dollars.
No, hell no. I mean, I'm obviously if I'm able to do it worldwide, shit. You know what I mean? Cool, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be the fucking Jay-Z of vending machines
or Pitbull because he's Mr. Worldwide. I don't know if you knew that.
But you know what I mean? Like, no, but I understood that the amount of income that can come from vending machines from just only operating them like Monday and Friday, that's how I do now, is a lot better than working Monday through Friday, something I don't enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy my work when I used to work. But if I can do Monday through Friday, just vending machines, and then focus on what I want to do as far as taking classes to finish teaching and coaching, high school sports. Shout out Kearney High School.
Do big shout outs to everyone today.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I wasn't gonna sit here and be like, you know what, vending machines is the way to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm making millions.
Yeah.
No, it just is passing me by. You know what I mean?
Right.
But don't get me wrong. If I can grow it to where I can just run that on top of teaching, I'm gonna do it.
I think your anxiety kind of stems from the same thing my anxiety stems from is just being better. And we have that like kind of juggernaut at all costs, we're going to succeed mindset that can also kind of be negative at some points because like a lot of people, and I think before this podcast, I'm going to release something that kind of talks about myself, yeah, but
don't just put this out into the world.
No. There's going to be some preface.
Yeah. We're just talking about, we go from A, Z, B, X, W, back to A to T.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
T. I think our anxiety stems from you are not allowed to sit still. You're not allowed to just be okay with what you're doing. You always have to do more. You always have to, I mean, to a certain point, make an impact. And if you're not making an impact, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
That can negatively affect you because you're never satisfied. And sometimes it could be like, I'm not satisfied. Right now, I believe that I'm the happiest I've been in probably since 2009. That's when my depression started.
Because I'm here.
Because you're here, Julio. And and my business is going great. I'm surrounded by amazing, and I'm not sitting here bragging, but I'm surrounded by amazing people, and I'm just happy.
Yeah.
But I know overnight that can go away.
Yeah.
And then that's when that juggernaut, like, I have to kill it. I have to be amazing. That's when that kind of comes in, and that's positive.
Yeah.
But then in those times where you're okay, and then that mindset comes in, it can be a little overwhelming, and then you start getting anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's a good point, because damn, son, that's really a good fucking point. No, I'm dead serious, because like I can sit here and tell you I've never experienced like an anxiety attack, panic attack ever in my entire, like, in my head, like growing up how I grew up.
Right.
Get past that and move on.
Right.
It's not that serious.
You're not allowed to feel that way.
And it's not that serious. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when shit started hitting the fan, I'm like, I'm about to start dying. Like, my chest is like,
right.
So then I'm like, well, what's going on with me? You know what I mean? And then that's when I talked to my fiance, and she's like, yo, yeah, you might have this. And my other homie, he was like, yeah, man, I had the same exact thing. You might have it. You know what I mean? That's before I got tested for COVID, and they were like, yo, you might have anxiety. It's not COVID, but anxiety or panic attack. You know what I mean?
Right.
To this day, I still tell myself, like, yeah, no, stop being a bitch, and just move on with life. You know what I mean? Because it's not that bad. And I still catch myself telling myself, like, yo, you don't have it that bad. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
But why am I still awake at 4, 5 in the morning? You know what I mean? Can't go to sleep, heart pounding. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I sit here and I'm like, yeah, I might have anxiety, or I might get panic attacks here and there. But to me, I'm like, I don't go to the doctors. That's not what I do.
It's not what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
you know
it's
what I mean?
Culture. Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. You know what I mean? I trust me. If I can sit here and like go to doctors once a week, man, they'll put me into a fucking, what do you call it? A psych ward?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going crazy, bro. Like, maybe that's the thing. So it's more of a culture thing, which is really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I keep saying, you know what I mean? It's fine, man. Don't.
I say a lot, and what I say when I like shoot things, I always say, you know. And
Yeah.
I've been trying to catch myself with ums and you know, because those are the two things I always say.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, you're gonna work on this podcasting. So
Yeah.
if I come back on like the 5th guest, cool. But where are we at?
I think we're good for a break. Hold on. Anyway, I want to go back, and maybe we can wrap up with this. He's already on his phone. He's lost.
No, I'm not. I'm
Lost all energy.
I can do this all day,
I honestly
and
can't
it's
too.
only my watch is not on, so
8:25.
8:20.
And
Oh,
we got like 10 minutes.
pretty late.
It's pretty late. Something I want, and if anyone kind of resonates with Julio's story,
I don't even know what my story was. I'm over here like left and right. And that's
I I was looking at you in your eyes sometimes, and you were kind of like, at first you started with a great thought, and then you kind of just started rambling, and then your eyes would kind of travel.
You know what I mean?
And I was like, oh, he needs help.
Well, not necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm talking about, but then at the same time, it's like, all right, you're going in a circle, so you're talking about the same exact thing.
So,
damn, this whole podcasting shit is hard.
It's hard, dude.
Don't upload this.
I'm gonna. Something that, and we already talked about this, but I kind of want the viewers, the listeners, to, if you resonated with Julio's story, with your anxiety pops out of nowhere. Our anxiety is actually, and I've only learned this because I've been to therapy, and I've had that kind of self-reflection. You need to talk to yourself. You need to have at least one activity a day. Mine right now has been working out. It might change next month. Working out has never helped me until now. Shout out to Iconic Fitness. It's never really helped me. When I used to go to big gyms, it would make me feel worse. But now I wake up at 5:30 a.m. Oh my goodness. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. I work out by like 6. If I wake up late, I'll wake up at 6 and then I'll work out at 7. That doesn't matter. Anyway, I have that one day, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson taught me this. You have to have that anchor that kind of solidifies your day. And whether it's sitting outside with your dogs, whether it's sitting in your bed, just sitting up, reading a book, you have to have that one activity that kind of makes you feel at peace and also makes you think. So my anchor is working out. And when I work out, I assess how I woke up. I assess, today I woke up anxious. And I will not let that affect my blank. So then you fill in the blanks. So let me give you an example. Yesterday, and again, Julio and I talked about this before. Yesterday I woke up. I couldn't describe it, but I just felt tense. I felt like my jaw just grinding all day. I felt angry. I felt, I had that feeling of just like, someone would talk to me and I'd be like, shut up. Just kind of that feeling. So I told myself, today I feel tense, but I will not let it affect my blank. And my thing was work and relationships with people. Because if I let it affect my work, that's my whole day. If I let it affect my relationships with people, then I'm grabbing my negativity and I'm throwing it on other people. Yeah. And I'm I'm not big on like astronomy or anything, but I'm big on energies, and people can feel your energy. When you walk in and your energy is just like negative and heavy, they're going to feel the same thing. Yeah. They're going to feel negative and just kind of be like, they don't want to be around you, which then again affects you, because it's like, well, why doesn't anyone want to be around me? I hate everybody. I blah, blah, blah. It's a chain reaction. So for any listeners out there, and Julio, even you, assess your day, assess your mood, talk to yourself more. Even if you're sitting in the car and you say, today I feel like shit. And you just kind of like, you know what I mean? You just kind of scream and go like, and just like scream out bad words and cuss and anything that kind of helps you center yourself. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to have those, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but you're going to have those days where you're just kind of like, I've been focused. You're good. You're good. You're going to have those days where it sucks. Yeah. It for sure sucks. For me, depression, the way I want to describe it, and I'm not saying that you have depression, but for anyone that has depression, it's a cloud. Sometimes a cloud lets light in. Those are your happy days. Sometimes a cloud, it's dark and you kind of feel off. Sometimes that cloud is dark and rainy. Yeah. And those are the days where you're like, I'm going to sit in bed all day. Yeah. And it's okay to sit in bed all day. But then you have to talk to yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to let myself sulk tomorrow it's going to be better.
Yeah. See, that's one topic that's really hard for me to understand. Depression.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not ignorant to the fact that people have depression. I'm not. No. I understand that people go through different things throughout their entire life. I understand it. But for me, and it's crazy for me because I understand people go through certain things. Obviously, what you're explaining now. But for me, it's always like, in my head, I want to go like, what are you depressed about? Like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's common.
You know, in my head, I'm like, what are you depressed about? Like,
right.
You have a good life. I'm not saying America's great, but shit. You know what I mean?
Bernie.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be 10 times better.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like, that's what I tell myself. Like, why are you sitting here being depressed if you have way better than a lot more people than you do? And then the actual, like, the educated side of me was like, you know what? No, you need to sit back and understand these people have feelings.
Right.
And they're going through a situation that they can't control. You know what I mean?
So then I can flip it back to you and be like, what are you anxious about?
Exactly.
You're fine. Exactly.
And that's the crazy part, because I tell myself every night before, like 4 or 5 in the morning, I'm like, why am I tripping so hard?
Right.
If I understand I have it so good. But it's because I haven't gone to the doctor. I haven't gone to a therapist. I haven't gone to somebody who understands what I'm going through when I'm not going through it.
Right.
If you that makes sense. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because I have everything in life perfectly fine, but yet I still feel like shit.
Yeah.
Not shit, but like something's wrong. Mm-hmm. But I can't explain it.
And if you brought that up to a professional, they would be like, oh yeah, you have this. And the crazy thing is that not enough people go, like, people don't want to put themselves in that position. But as soon as you do, like when my therapist was like, you're depressed.
Yeah.
She was like, I've seen this before. I've actually lived it. She was like, I took antidepressants. And I was just like, well, shout out to Judy.
Judy Bloom?
Well, no.
Anyway. This is what I'm talking about, not taking anything serious.
God damn it. Anyway, shout out to God. Anyway, professionals know. They've seen this, and you kind of think you're alone in the world, but really so many other people have gone through this.
Definitely.
And you're like, well, why are you depressed? You got everything going on. I think it's important for people to feel that way, because everyone feels that way. I felt that way about myself. I felt that way about other people. And it's important to feel that way, but then also check yourself and be like, well, they're allowed to feel this way, and I am also allowed to feel this way.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel anxious.
Yeah.
Because you do have a lot on the line. And it might not line up with your morals, where you're just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to make $1,000 a week, and then that's how I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
You want to do more, and you want to do more. But it's also important to kind of check yourself and be like, you know what? This month was a little slow. I'm going to be honest. Next month will be better, and this is how I'm going to do that. I did a training for Poway Unified School District. Shout out Poway. And they taught me about growth mindset.
Yeah.
So growth mindset is pretty much, I can't do this yet. I can't shoot this basket yet. And that leaves it open for opportunity.
Yeah.
It's, I can't do this yet, but I'm going to try to do it by shooting that basket every single day. I'm going to start with the granny shots, and then move on to, real shots. And then I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
But then once you get there, you want to step up, and you want to step up, and you want to step up. And sometimes what I've found personally is that growth mindset can kind of it can be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because you tell yourself, I'm going to get to this goal. You get to that goal, and then you're like, I have to get to this next goal.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that goal. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Like, did you, how do I ask this? Did you, hit the shit out of the table. Did you kind of think that you were going to make this much money with
The vending machines?
vending machines?
No. No, because I mean, if you look at like how I started, if you watch the videos on YouTube,
Right.
these dudes are making like maybe $250. Even like when I went to go look at other vending machines and see how much they were making like $50 a week. But
50.
yeah, but when you understand where my vending machine is at, then you understand why you're making that much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When that's just one vending machine. But I'm not saying I'm not putting my whole entire life into just one vending machine, because at the end of the day, they can be like, oh, we don't want you anymore.
Right.
Get out of here. So then what am I going to do?
So do like businesses and stuff get a cut of that?
It's depends how it's how negotiated.
Okay.
Some businesses want, but then you have to understand, like, you're offering 5% of a cut. So you make 5% of what? Let's say, give or take, $100. Don't ask me what that is. That's what the phone is for. But what, 5% of $100 is
He's
what?
looking it up.
I'm pretty sure people know what that is.
Yeah. There's people screaming in their car right now, just being like,
$5.
It's blah blah blah.
Anyways, you know what I
history
mean?
majors.
Anyways, you know what
history.
I'm saying? Like companies are not gonna want $10 a month. Like what is that gonna do for them?
Right.
So for me, I don't pay anybody anything. And if they did ask me for it, I wouldn't put my vending machine there.
Right.
Because it just makes no sense to give somebody 5, 10. Obviously, yes. If they're a small business, give or take, and they need it,
Right.
cool. I get it. I understand that. But if they're making millions of dollars or thousands of dollars, cool. They'll be all right if they don't get no $5 or $10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what that is.
So something I want to end on, because we're hitting like
We're about
an hour.
Is it an hour?
Yeah. 8:38. It's about an hour and like 6 minutes. So something I want to end on is having, and I talked about this already and I want to circle it back, but having conversations with yourself, asking if the goal that you're setting for yourself is one, achievable, and how long it is going to take. So like, let's put it back to you, Julio. Your goal is to pretty much pay for a wedding.
Yeah.
Right? You're kind of unemployed. You have passive income.
Yeah.
That's more than what most people have. That's more than, not only asking yourself like, is this goal achievable, but like putting yourself in, kind of recentering yourself and putting yourself in perspective.
Yeah.
Saying I get to chill all week and make money.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not happy with that, what would make me happy? Maybe a part-time job, maybe a full-time job. In my case, I'm happy with the clients I'm with now, but I know that can be over overnight.
Yeah.
That can be over overnight. Whatever. That could be over in a day. That can be over, I could have a client be like, hey, I don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. That is an option. That can happen. How am I going to bounce back from that?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm making a ton of money, and I don't want to make it seem like this is all about money, but if I'm making the right amount of money that I want to make, how do I continue making that money? Yes, things can be over in a day. Things can be over in a month. Plan that out, but don't stress yourself about it. Not only that, have a conversation with yourself about your expectations for yourself and your expectations for the world. So, you know, I want to make this much in the month of August.
Yeah.
I did not make that much because people aren't going to where my machines are at.
Yeah.
So then how do I make up for that?
Mm-hmm.
And not only does it keep you optimistic, but it keeps you moving forward. A growth mindset is like, it's so important. And that's the one thing I've learned in business is that, okay, I didn't make that cut for this month. How do I make it next month?
Yeah.
How do I make it next month? How do I make it next month?
Yeah.
And it keeps going and it keeps you kind of optimistic. And I think optimism is super important. Not blind optimism, but like optimism about I'm doing everything right. How can I do it even better?
Yeah. You're good. You're really fucking good.
What's this podcast called? ThisLife?
Man, honestly,
ThisLife, dude.
You can't use this footage, bro.
Why?
Because, I mean, maybe if you cut it right, if you cut it right and you're like, damn, that shit looks good. But full on, shit.
So I think...
Just rambling. But no, you're right. Honestly, man, it's just... Fuck. It's...
You don't know how to go from there, huh?
No, I'm trying to figure out what you said.
I mean, just have a conversation with yourself. Set your expectations and
that's the thing. Because I was never told to have a conversation with yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Obviously you've done this because you've gone to therapy and you've done certain avenues that allows you to understand, like, hey, if shit ain't going right,
make it go right.
Kick back, relax, and understand why it's not happening that way.
Right.
And then for me, it's always like, you know what? Oh shit, did it happen? Cool. On to the next. What can I do better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never of like, oh, self-pity. Don't feel bad for yourself. People got it worse. So, my vending machines ain't hitting. All right, cool. Well, what do they want? What snacks do they want? On to the next snack. So, that's where that's where it is for me. Obviously, I understand that you have to be able to say, hey, this is why it's... What the hell was that?
Sorry, this is my shoe. Go ahead.
It kind of threw me off. What was that?
You said, obviously, you have to say, this is not where... And then you stopped.
No, it's... Damn. It's more of a... I don't remember where I was at. I'm literally trying to remember. This is horrible. But
should I wrap it up?
Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Julio, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I know this.
Don't bring me back.
I'm gonna watch this back, and
okay, hold on. This will be a good laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can sit back and watch the entire film and audio, and you're like, damn, like they was talking about nothing. They was drunk as fuck.
I'm not drunk.
But honestly, like if you take snippets of what we were talking about, you can literally put a piece together and I'm like, you know what? This is what people are going through.
Yeah.
And they're trying to overcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more of a like, you know what? Hey, shit. No job. No income.
Yep.
What am I going to do?
And I think this podcast is kind of a symbolism of like diving into something.
Yeah. Because
I've been hesitant for literally years, and I've recorded things that I've just deleted because I'm like, well, it's not good enough. It's not ready. But like, when are you really ready?
Yeah, exactly. So in doing this, you're going to understand, all right, this is not how I want it to go. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me, trust me. In my head, I know exactly this is not how exactly you want it to go. You know what I mean?
I'm going to polish it up. it's, you know,
but do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, you want it to be like live from start to finish.
Yep.
You don't want to have to like cut shit out.
Well, today we're watching.
No, and that hold on. Like
for it,
if you didn't put this mic in front of me, shit would smell smooth. You know what I mean? Like, oh wow, he's actually sounding pretty good.
Yeah.
But being in front of the mic, you're like, oh
Yeah.
what am I gonna do?
And did you notice how when I was setting up, we're both just not talking?
Yeah, I know, just quiet. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like I understand, I know what you want as far as the podcast goes, and this is not it. And that's why I won't take offense to it, because I understand as a friend, I know that. Like
I think it is what I want. It's raw, dude.
Stop.
This guy's telling me what I want or don't want. What the hell?
I've known him for 5 years. I know his entire life. No, but yeah, do you understand what I'm saying though? Like, cause when you really think about it, and like in your head, you know, we've been talking about the same thing.
I think once I watch it back.
Yeah,
I think once I watch it back, I'll be like, okay, this was dope, or this just like. But then also when you talk personally, like when I talk
one-on-one, yeah,
I feel like I'm just talking in circles. But then people are like, oh no, I totally understood what you said. And like I had videos on my YouTube where I was like, or on my YouTube, on my Instagram, where I thought I was saying the same thing, and people praised me for like, no, you know, you were right on the point. You said this, you said that. I think as long as we get the conversation going, the ball rolling, then we're chilling.
Yeah,
like,
no. I agree. But the next time you have me back, it's gonna be 10 times better. I promise you.
All right, man. Where can people follow you, or where can they find your vending machines? Actually,
I only have one at the moment, and the next one you're not gonna find because you don't live there. And if you live there, I'd be surprised. They're all apartments. Because, anyways, we're not about to get into all that. But one of them is at Belmont Park. So
Belmont Park.
if you want to support your small business, Belmont Park. Don't worry about the prices, but yeah.
What about your handles?
You
You have a Twitter and all that?
Yeah, I do have a Twitter.
Do you want people to follow you?
No. I'm just playing. Jules Jr. __ Jules Jr. You can figure out how to spell that out. But yeah.
Wait, hold on. _ Jules Jr.
You will if you are able to understand how to spell that out and add me, I'll add you back.
JULES.
That's for my Instagram and my Twitter.
JR.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I gotta pee real bad.
Yeah.
Give me a follow at Mayorca Media. That's MAYORCA MEDIA.
Yeah, I won't do all that.
Again, that's Mayorca, like MAY, like the month, and the whale, and media. This is ThisLife. First podcast, second podcast. I don't know what it's going to be.
Rough draft.
We are here at the local hub studios. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, please let me know. This was at _ Jules Jr. Julio on the ThisLife podcast. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Dude, we did it! Dude, that was good. What are you talking about?